I don't think we give him enough credit. Like, you in the Hall of Fame, champ.
I didn't even know they did it for fans until I got the call. I said,
You was the barrier. You the ultimate sports fan. So this is a Hall of Fame podcast, and we got Hall of Famers up here. So
I beat you, though.
You did. You beat me there, champ. Yo, peace. Welcome back to 7 p.m. in Brooklyn. I'm Carmelo Anthony here with my co-host.
You know what it is? My name is Kazim Famiuide. You can call me Kaz. And this is a Wave original by FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. Guys, all the episodes are really good ones, but this is definitely one of them ones. If you've been following the show for a long time, if you've just been a fan of basketball, when you're putting a show like 7 p.m. in Brooklyn together and you're getting the guest list together, you're like, this episode has to happen.
Yeah,
this
star.
episode
No star.
has to happen. A pioneer in the filmmaking space, an Academy Award-winning director, an Emmy Award-winning director, a man who has helped launch the careers of some of the most successful Black actors in the Hollywood history. And of course, his fandom for his New York Knicks are so strong and so powerful, it became an adjective. Being spiked out, you could trip a referee. Please.
Thank you, Jay-Z.
Welcome to his home borough and our space here in Red Hook, the one and only Mr. Spike Lee. What's going on, legend?
Thank you. And I just like to say we're taping this April 15th.
Yes.
And that's why Brooklyn's in the house.
No doubt.
The Pride of Brooklyn.
Always.
Jackie Robinson, April 15th, 1947, he broke the apartheid in Major League Baseball. And that really, people don't know this. Jackie Robinson passed away when he was 53 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And his hair was white. Is that white on that frame? But his dear wife, Rachel, is still alive.
Wow.
She's 102 years young.
Wow.
102.
God bless him, man.
Yeah.
God bless you for the movie.
I mean, this is not a mistake. We're doing this on today.
That's a fact.
I mean, I believe in.
Yeah, mashallah.
And the hook, too.
And the hook,
there's a lot of energy up there.
The energy here is too good.
I know,
but
so thank you, man.
Absolutely.
I'm here.
Let's
chop it up.
Finally.
Melo, start us off, man.
So while we have the legendary Spike Lee in the building, we're going to dive into some amazing topics today.
Mm-hmm.
Like Spike's latest film, Highest to Lowest, Spike and Denzel's iconic film partnership.
And you know, of course,
five.
We'll count down later.
Cinco. And you know, we gotta take a pulse. We gotta take a pulse of that first round, man. Around the league, this New York Knicks first round of the playoffs kick off this weekend, and of course, we'll end things with America's #1 segment. Fuck with it or fuck out of here. But first, we got to kick things off with the Connect, brought to you by Peloton. Find your push, find your power with Peloton. Spike, like I said, man, we don't create this show without saying like we got to have him here one of these days. And Spike,
I'm here.
We're beyond excited.
In the house.
We're beyond excited to have you on the show, and I want to start by going into the past, man. You, Melo, obviously, long history there. Can you tell us a story about the first time?
At some camp or something?
Yeah.
Remind me.
Years.
In the backpack?
In the backpack. Early in the backpack. I don't know if it was the MJ camp or it was
one of them. Right?
Yeah, it wasn't an ABCD camp, but it was a camp that we met at. And
so this is high school.
Right after high school.
Okay.
Yeah.
Before you went to Syracuse.
Right, that summer, yeah.
Yeah.
What did you see about Melo the first time? Like, was he playing? Was y'all both just observing, or did you watch him on the court? What was it like?
He said before we started rolling, but he was nice with it. Like, who's this guy? No, phenom, you know. So even though we know the Baltimore thing, but we claim
him.
We claim him,
man. Come on.
So I know sometimes you're like, you got caught in between, right?
No. You never get caught in between.
Nah.
What's understood is understood.
There you go.
Say it again.
What's understood is understood. You know, I was born in Brooklyn and I was raised in Baltimore.
That's
you know what I'm saying?
Well, you know what? I was born in Atlanta, Georgia.
See what I'm saying? So.
And we claim you like
moved
one of
to
our
Brooklyn
own
when I was 2 years old.
Indeed. So we got ties all over. Funny story. I talked about this on the first season.
Yeah.
I used to run up in his store.
Okay.
Spike's joint. The corner
40 acres in the mule and all.
Brooklyn Tech.
Absolutely. When I was young, just run up in there. Used to have 40 acres in the mule tags, and my uncle used to go over there a lot. And I used to tag along. We used to take me over there. Yeah. I ain't know what the fuck was going on, but that you just remember kind of that nostalgia and that iconic 40 acres in the mule. Fort Greene Park and all of that over there. It's like that's where some of my family was at. So to be able to
project?
Yeah. Farragut and all that.
Did you know that Cumberland Hospital,
Absolutely.
You know who's born there? Bernard, Albert,
yeah.
Mike Tyson, and Michael Jordan.
Absolutely.
Jeez. All born in Fort Greene. That's Cumberland Hospital. Damn. That's spelled D-A-Y-U-M. Man, the Fort. Oh, you know what? Spike, stop talking that goddamn motherfucking Brooklyn shit.
That's MJ.
Stop talking that Brooklyn shit. You born there, man.
Yeah, that's
Come
a
on.
fact.
Wait, Mike don't be trying to claim Brooklyn for it? We claim it for him, though.
Nah.
You don't be trying to claim Brooklyn?
Nah, it's over.
Spike, stop talking that goddamn Brooklyn shit.
Yeah, it's over. But yeah, that's my earliest memory. Like, he had no idea, but just running around in that area, in that neighborhood, and running.
So people's in Farragut, huh?
Yeah. Fort Greene projects, like right that whole area.
So would you come to Brooklyn in the summers?
No, when I was younger, I was in Red Hook.
Okay. Once you were...
So I was coming back every holiday in the summers. Right? And that's how I was able to...
Take the train up at a $5 bus.
No, I was Greyhound.
Yeah.
I was Greyhounding it sometimes. I was Peter Panning it sometimes. You know what I'm saying?
The Chinese buses, the $3 joints.
I ain't do the Chinese buses.
I did the Chinese buses.
I ain't do those. Respectfully, I ain't do those. But the Peter Pan bus, you know what I'm saying? You just got to stop in every little town on Peter Pan. And they go another route. Gotcha. They don't take the Greyhound route. They got the back route. You take the back roads on the Peter Pan.
See a 18-wheel bus going through somebody's backyard.
Yeah,
what is this doing?
Peter Pan was real. So yeah, that was my route.
You mentioned going into Spike's joint as a kid. For folks who may not be familiar, Spike, what was Spike's joint like back in the early 90s, 2000s?
We talking about late 80s, early 90s.
Late 80s, early 90s. Describe what Spike's joint was back in the day.
I've always worn T-shirts, the movie that's so she's gonna have it, school days, do the right thing, It was popping. So I bought that building too. And now it's called Cafe Paulette. And also we do a Jungle Fever. Halle Berry stayed in one of those apartments, but I just got tired of being a landlord, man. I'm like, fuck it, man. Call me 4 a.m, the toilet stopped and shit. And I'm selling this building. I can't do it. But it was, everybody was coming through there, and it was just 89, especially with Do the Right Thing and Fight the Power and Public Enemy. It was amazing. And then it got to, I'd say I can't do this anymore, but it was it was a great time. And I grew up in Fort Greene too.
Yeah.
So my parents, we bought our brownstone 1968 in Fort Greene for $45,000.
Must be nice.
Because you had this thing called white flight. So it was all black and Boricua, Puerto Rican. You go to Fort Greene now, it's a complete gentrification. And Fort Greene Park in the morning,
different.
It's like the motherfucking Westminster Dog Show.
It's different.
Am I lying?
No, it's different over there.
And so what we saw is that we had white flight, but everybody, the white people, white folks, they moved out to Long Island. And then all the stuff they were running from got out there. And then 6 hours commute. And they said, you add that up, 6 hours every day, and they just, Fort Greene, Bed-Stuy, Do or Die, Crown Heights, all these homes are owned by black folks, They got, a lot of them sold their house, moved down to Atlanta. One house, grass and lawn, but the other ones they got robbed of their houses, man. So and we were in those neighborhoods strong.
Yeah.
It's not, I'm not, gentrification, of course. Here's the thing though. When I lived in Fort Greene, The garbage not get picked up everything. Right in Fort Greene, PS7, PS20, PS11, and the junior high school I went to, 294, were terrible. But this magical, mystical thing happened with gentrification. Now the public schools are better.
Yeah. It's funny how that works.
Now.
Funny how that works.
Garbage being picked up. More police presence. You know what happened to me? I was hanging out. I was in Harlem like 3 a.m. I even forgot what I was doing there. Mm-hmm. I see a young white woman walking down the street with a baby stroller 3 a.m. That was it. 3 a.m, a young white mother with a young child in a stroller.
Oh my God.
Times have changed.
It's over.
Times have changed.
It's over.
Times have definitely changed.
And then Morris Park.
Yeah.
For years, the bros would play African drums.
Yep.
Not no more.
What they got over there? What instruments they played over there now?
They're not playing. Drummers make too much noise.
Noise complaints.
My neighbors called the cops on my father for playing the bass. My father doesn't even play electric bass.
Wow.
Anyway,
I want to ask you about that though, Spike.
I want to get the thing.
We can get into the gentrification of Brooklyn conversation. We always could do that.
Let's switch it up.
We can switch it up. Let's switch it up. Okay. Spike, we got to talk hoops when you're here. You're one of the most iconic fans in NBA history. Like I said, your fandom turned into an adjective, about sitting courtside, you can trip a referee and being spiked down.
I've never done
whole
that
thing, man. But I haven't really tripped a referee, but it's a euphemism. Before we get into our squad, the New York Knicks, I want to hear your overall thoughts on the upcoming NBA playoffs. Any matchups you're excited to see? I think there's intriguing matchups all throughout. But talk to me, like what's been the most intriguing sort of matchup for the playoffs for yourself and for Melo?
I'm looking at the Lakers, man. They could win again. They can win again.
Don't say that.
But
don't say that.
I don't want them to win. But there's always something happening there, But going to the Eastern Division, I like Detroit. I'm saying they're going to beat us, but they're going to give us, they're not gonna, that's not a walkover.
Spike,
they
got be honest,
young boys, man.
I got to be honest. I don't like the vibe I'm getting from Knicks fans about these Detroit Pistons, man. Like I like them too, but I think we're giving them a little too much respect. I almost want to say,
you gotta give them respect. I mean, they're not.
I'll stop short of saying Knicks fans sound a little scared.
I'm not scared. I'm just saying it's going to be. Let me use the word competitive.
Competitive, of course. I think it's going to be a 6-game, 7-game dogfight. Like I like the way they built. They kind of low key remind me of the Knicks last year, just as far as like talent at the point guard position, tough defense, like depth on their bench, like being well coached. Like they kind of remind me of the Knicks from a season ago. Exactly.
People making the comparison between this year's team and last year's team. You see that last year's team had much more fight, much more grit. What do you think?
I think with Julius last year, like that, they had DiVincenzo, Julius. Like it was a different type of like
Hartenstein.
Like that was a different part in Hartenstein. That was a different.
That was a big loss, right?
Yeah, that was a different energy
money,
though.
Right?
Yeah, that was a different energy last year. Like different physical type of energy. This year is not the physical energy.
So what is this year?
This year is supposed to be defensive minded.
Our defense is worse than last year.
Yeah, but this was you asked me what it's supposed to be. This is what it's supposed to be. What it is. What it's supposed to be. What it is.
No, I'm gonna let you talk.
What it's supposed to be is defensive minded. Yeah. We got to start preparing for teams like Boston and Cleveland. We got to match up with these guys. We got to put 5 guys on the court that can match up with Boston if we talking about winning a championship.
But aren't we 11 and 12 versus those teams? Boston.
Yeah. I mean, barring injuries.
There was like 3 back-to-backs against Cleveland.
We didn't get one win though.
You can explain.
KC.
That last Cleveland game. That last Cleveland game was inexcusable.
Give them the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
It's 0-0 going into playoffs.
And the difference between this year and last year, the Knicks are going into the playoffs relatively healthy than they were last year.
This year is more, they know they got a target on their back this year. Last year, they didn't have a target on their back.
You're snuck my people, right?
Yeah, this year is like you and the sniper, you and the vision, right? And you got a young team like Detroit who has found their identity. Like they are it's like almost they taking on the persona of the bad boys of
Detroit.
Detroit.
Their never played a playoff game, right?
Nah, but see, like yes, that plays a part. Not experience plays a part.
So,
the physical part of the game is what's gonna get ugly. So if the Knicks can handle the physical part of the game, then we should be all right. But if we can't handle the physical part,
they're more physical than we are.
Yeah. By far. And I'm just saying the way that they play physical. Like their repertoire is a physical team, and they don't mind
with the wings.
They don't mind fighting.
Harris.
They don't mind getting dirty. They don't like they just don't mind.
Yeah.
And you have a young guard who's coming into the leadership role. Like he's turning into a killer, man.
He's 6'6".
He's turning into a killer.
So who's on him?
I mean, you have to go with OG though.
I think OG's the matchup.
You have to go with OG on him. You have
so
to.
Hard to not.
The only thing that it's Detroit takes advantage of a mismatch. Right. So if you switch and there's a little guard, they finding the big on the inside. Right. And they punish the rim. You get what I'm saying? They don't just lay it like they are punishing the rim.
Don't sleep on the Thompson twin too, man.
Nah, they have a very good makeup of a team. The young boy from the G League, from Ignite.
Oh, Ron Holland.
Right. Like he's solid. Toughness, solid. He want to fight. He'll crash out too. Like,
we know what Stewart. You know what you get with Isaiah Stewart.
Right. So we got to be ready to like crash out in a way.
Right.
Control can't crash out.
Do you think that's why you pick up a PJ Tucker? It's like, yo, you get him out there.
Yeah, because PJ, you could throw if Tibbs utilized PJ. You could throw PJ in there to go battle Durant and Stewart. Like
he's ready.
P ready. Like that's his type of game. Like he loved that type of physical shit. Like he loved when the game just goes and he can fuck somebody up.
It's a mud fight.
He also knows the playoffs. He knows how to navigate.
Seasoned veteran.
I mean, he's 17, 18,
still knock down a couple
18 years, like
too,
something like that. He done won. He done been playing in that spot, in that position. I just hope he get a shot. At least give him a shot.
Listen, I like the idea of PJ
Put him at
Tucker,
the 5, backup center.
I like that.
What about playing Cat and Mitch Robinson again? Will you like that?
I'm not mad at that. I think we're gonna have to go to that. We're gonna have to go to that because our wings are not physical enough to go out down there and battle with Stewart and Durant. Right. So if you put Cat and big fella out there, then you can match them physically.
It's going to come down to the playoffs. Usually comes down to rebounding. Like if you're getting all those rebounding, like if you're getting all those extra possessions.
I think that's a good question. I think we're going to see more of that lineup.
Of course,
of Cat and Mitchell Robinson.
But I think in addition to all that, obviously, the big shadow being cast is a new young star coming into Madison Square Garden.
That's
ready to make a name for himself. Ready to look you in the eyes.
That's gonna happen anyway. That's gonna happen anyway.
Every bucket gonna try to look at you and try and get something off of you.
We haven't known none of that stuff.
You know what's gonna happen.
None of that.
The first big shot that happens, Cade gonna look at her right
I'm like
now.
this. Peace and love. I'm like Motown. I mean, we're like Jackson 5.
Now, Cade
4 tops.
Cade is nice, man.
Dog.
He's nice with it.
He's nice, man. I would love to work with Cade.
He is a guy who could step into.
I would love to work with Cade.
The top players.
Cade is good. Man.
Let me ask you this question because I see you on the baseline, and I'm looking at you. Some play happens, whatever it is, and I can see you. I see you thinking. Like I see you thinking.
Yeah.
I see because I'm looking at you.
Yeah.
And I just know you be saying like, what? You
yeah.
A genius. You're just looking at the game, his process in your mind. I see it on your face.
Yeah, it's sometimes it's hard to keep it away. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm looking at the game totally. I got a different perspective on the game, right?
Exactly.
So I'm like trying to analyze. I'm looking at plays. I'm looking at offenses. I'm looking at players. I'm looking at movement. And so I'm seeing the game and I'm analyzing the game totally different than what I'm actually seeing.
But if you have a former player next to you, you got it like this. Did you?
Yeah, so it's like, a lot of times I'll be, for me, sitting over there on the sideline, if there's former players, like I want to pick their brain too.
Yeah,
I want to see what type of time they on and how they looking at this game as well, right? So it's still
the former Knicks.
So it's still like sharpening your iron too at the same time.
But the best part about you analyzing the game is that you can't hide your feelings.
That's what I said.
We saw the meme.
I'm not even close.
We saw the meme after the turnover.
I can still see his face. The crazy what happens, I'm looking at you.
Off of Mikhail.
Crazy play, I'm looking at your face.
I seen the play. I seen it about to play out already.
What happens, right?
Yeah, you can see what's about to happen.
Right.
You can see he had the ball and he was indecisive about the play he was about to make.
Mm-hmm.
Like he already made the decision as soon as he took the dribble and threw the ball.
And you saw it, right?
You already knew what was going to happen.
Yeah.
So it's like, damn, fuck.
I think the world saw it too because the TNT cameras are right to you.
Yeah, but it's also, I'm looking at time. I'm looking at score, possession. I'm looking at what he should have did, what he could have did. Like it's
who's on the bench, who should be in.
Yeah, at times. I do look at that. At moments throughout the course of the game. But I honestly, I just be analyzing the game to see like what makes each team good. Like I'm watching both teams. Like what really makes the Knicks good, or what really makes Boston good, or you know what I mean? Like what makes
and
these
teams' weaknesses too, right?
And absolutely. Yep. So like what makes these teams good? If I'm able to see it live, then it gives me a whole different experience on the game, and I can speak the game a lot differently than speaking about watching on TV, because you get a feel for the game. You get how somebody's moving. You can see how somebody is not feeling well that day. You know somebody don't feel like playing that day. Mm-hmm. You can just see the body language.
Where were they last night?
You see all that. And sometimes I be telling my man like, yo T, like,
yeah, what about
he don't want to play tonight. Or second half, he gonna wake up second half.
What about the teams that come in 2 nights? New York for the game.
Yeah, that's I can't really get that science up like that. They gonna start saying
science.
Yeah, they gonna start I can't give you the insight. People go to dinner and shit. People hang out and go to dinner, and when it's New York though, everybody brings family. Mm-hmm. You get what I'm saying? So
of course
you out with family. It's not just you and the team. You probably don't even see the team. You with family, friends, everybody's coming in town. Everybody won't be in New York. It depends
what time of the year. You got spring break, so the family's not coming.
New York, everybody coming to New York. You got a couple of days. You go finagle your schedule. If if a smart coach, would be like, yo, we going into a city 2 days before. I already know what time it is.
You don't want to do that for New York or Miami.
This is Miami. This is LA. This is Atlanta. Anywhere, we got 2 nights. Y'all go. Y'all got a night. Y'all got a day to go do whatever y'all want to do. Come back the next day. We're gonna get a good practice in and get ready for the game.
It's gonna be.
That's what I would do.
We would hope so.
That's what I would do.
We would hope so.
That's what you did.
Yeah, I'm saying that's what I would. I'm saying as a player, that experience it led me to like trusting my coach a lot more, because like, okay, he trusts us to be responsible to go hang out and go do our thing or whatever we want to do for a day, for a night, and then the next day we're going to be ready to come to practice.
Even in addition to that too, right? Like there's certain players like yourself that had a higher responsibility as like a franchise guy, right? You come into New York, it's a Saturday. Yeah. Not only are you doing dinners, like Nike's got to do a sneaker release. You got to show up and do this thing or like whatever. And then
everybody wants tickets.
Yeah, everybody wants tickets. Like it's
New York.
Like
say it again.
Tickets is a motherfucking New York, boy.
It ain't free. Come out of somewhere. But it's always different being a star coming to play at New York or play for New York. And now, obviously, all eyes are going to be on Cade Cunningham going into this series. And Spike, you have seen.
Hold on. But what I will say to that, okay, I'm going to cut you off for this.
All right, okay.
What I will say, because that's a really good point. It's a lot fucking different coming in the Garden in the playoffs than it is in a regular season game, than it is in a big time regular season game. Yeah. Like a Friday night, or Thursday night, TNT. It's even 3 times more than that experience. The playoffs in the Garden is totally different.
It's crazy.
It's the energy is totally different. Cade mindset coming in here he has to be super locked in. Because a lot of them calls he's not going to be getting. Mm-hmm. You get what I'm saying? The referee, they looking at everybody's shit.
Are you saying the Knicks get calls in the Garden?
I'm not saying the Knicks get calls in the Garden. I'm saying a lot of things that you haven't experienced in the postseason. Mm-hmm. Right? The game get a lot more physical.
This be his first.
Yeah, the game get a lot
playoff game.
Yeah,
right?
The game get a lot more physical.
He's not the only one, right?
Nah.
Certain guys.
It's a lot of them. Most of those guys.
Thompson's for. I mean, they got vets. They got Hardaway Jr. They got Tobias Harris.
But they not leading.
Beasley.
Cade is
not the leader.
Cade is the white hat over there. Yeah. So because of that, he has to lead. He got to lead that team, and it's a very, very great. It's a good experience of coming into playing the New York Knicks in your first playoff experience.
Yeah.
Because it could go either way.
Let me ask you,
and that's what scares me the most.
Have you ever
seen a player that was affected by the crowd at the Garden?
1,000%.
Yeah, the crowd got on.
1,000 on my team or
no, just in general.
Yeah,
not leave it out. Your teammates on the Knicks, just the opposing team. You seen like 1,000%. They got shook.
You ever see somebody shoot a shot? And they start looking at their hands like, damn.
It's not the hands.
In the Garden, that means
the
Garden
did it, right?
You thinking about that shit. Mm-hmm. Like, yo, I just shot a fucking air ball, or I just got somebody stole the ball from me. I got a turnover. Yeah. Like, you thinking about all of that shit.
Of course. I don't think
I've seen it. Like, I've seen guys miss 2-3 shots in the game, and they just like, they won't shoot that shit no more.
It's the Garden crowd, right?
It's just the energy in the Garden. You know everybody is watching you.
It translates well on TV, but I don't even think people realize that like the Garden actually shakes during certain parts.
That's why they say the Garden make you. The Garden can make you or break you, right? You know what I'm saying? Like that's what I grew up on. The Garden can make you or break you. So those who are locked in and understand the assignment of going to the Garden and what that means. And
the assignment,
the assignment. You know what I mean? We see, you got to understand the assignment here in New York.
Of course.
And when you understand that, it makes it fun and it's joyful to go out there and play. And I know that I'm leading the fort in front of all it. Like this energy is different over here.
Yeah, it's one of those things that is short of an NBA championship, but could still elevate you.
1,000%.
Like, the Pistons could just have a good showing against the Knicks.
And it could be fool's goals at times.
And it could be fool's goal.
New York could be fool's goal at times.
Of course, but I'm saying a dude like Cade Cunningham playing the season he played, the turnaround the Pistons have had this year.
I think he's ready.
You going into your first game, it's like, give me the hardest situation you could give me in the playoffs for my first game. And if he passes with flying colors, then I'm like, all right.
Yeah, I mean, but see,
it might get a little interesting.
This is very good.
Yeah,
for Cade, this is good. This is good.
In the fire, right?
Yeah, you in the fire. You got
to be one of those great ones. You got to do something
because
like
you got to
this.
go up against a great point guard in Jalen Brunson.
That too,
right? Yeah. So you got.
I don't think they're gonna be holding each other, though, right?
Yeah, you got to figure it out. They point guard. Some way, somehow they gonna be guard.
Just as much as
6'6", right?
It doesn't matter.
Just as much as we need the Knicks fans or the Knicks organization needs to figure out how to stop Cade. The Pistons are losing sleep on how to stop Jalen Brunson, especially in the playoffs.
Yeah,
especially in the playoffs.
The recipe is there. If you watch the season and the games that the Knicks lost throughout the season,
beat them up.
The recipe is there.
Yeah,
you gonna put a big
6'7"
guy.
dude.
Yeah, it's the recipe is there. Boston done showed that. Cleveland, the teams that we've lost to have tried it and showed that it's effective at times. You really have to stop a great player, though, bro. Like, you get what I'm saying? I don't give a fuck what type of strategy you have. You really have to stop a great player.
Yeah.
But can great players be stopped, though? That's the question.
Great players can only stop themselves.
Ooh. Repeat that again?
Great players can only stop themselves. Great players you could be the greatest defensive player in the world against the greatest offensive player in the world. Offense gonna always, because you gotta really stop the mentality of this man who's great at what he does.
Yeah,
You're great at what you do of stopping somebody. But this man right here is great at what he do at put the ball in the hole. Like it's
So who wins that battle?
Great offense always outweigh great defense. And they gonna say I'm bugging, but it does. I don't care how much of a defender you are.
Yeah.
You can be the greatest defensive player of all time. If I decide to get to this spot and score in this spot because I'm great at what I do, it ain't nothing you're going to be able to do. You can't stop that.
But they can make it more difficult, though, right?
That's my next point. You can only...
sorry.
No, they're great questions. These are great questions. You can only contain. You only could challenge. You can't lock down a great player. You can't... You get what I'm saying? You can only try to figure out and outsmart a great player. You can't try to defend. You're not going to defend a great player.
Nah. Every coach from grade school up into the highest level will tell you, if that player makes this shot, you shake his hand and go back on defense. The problem is,
right? That doesn't make you out there. But that doesn't make you not a great defensive player.
Nah, definitely not.
You know, sometimes my job is to go out there and just make it tough on you. Just make it tough.
Who's tough? Who's one of the defenders when you played that?
Bruce Bowen early on, because he was older. He knew how to guide you with his hands and shit.
Guys?
Yeah, he played defense with his elbows, his knees, and it was more defensive schemes back then. Like nobody never played me 1-on-1. It was always guarding me,
send the help,
load up. You know what I mean? I'm damn near boxing one every time I touch the ball.
Yeah.
So they try to navigate within that space. Like I had to learn how to play in these small little spaces. You got the ball on the wing, they come load up on you. Tim Duncan on the underneath for the rim. Ginobili in the paint, in the passing lane. Like these, Bruce Bowen is jam. Like it's a lot.
I hear that mindset.
Coutinho, Mobley too. Like Coutinho. Coutinho.
Okay.
And I say this, Coutinho is the reason why I had to learn how to fade. Right? I had to learn how to
fade off screens.
Fade away. I had to get a fade away.
Okay.
Fucking with Coutinho.
You worked on it during the summer?
Every time I played against him, you always swipe down. Right? And I couldn't time it at first. And he would get it every time. I'm like, damn, why the fuck I can't score on this? And he would slap down. Boom. I'm like, damn. Right. And then the intelligent part of the game start to kick in. And it's like you go back and you watching the hand on the ball and how, when and the timing and the beat, you try to catch all of that. But that's just studying the game. And then I had to get a fadeaway. And then I'm like, yo, why am I even playing? I'm stronger than him. Let me get him under the basket, right? But this is evolution of
being a student of the game.
Being a student of the game, right? So you had guys like that, but I never, Artest, meta now, but like Artest.
Oh, yeah.
he was somebody who you had to really think the game. It wasn't like physically he matched. You know what I mean? Speed-wise, he matched. He was super smart defensive player. Tough. You don't know what he thinking. You don't know what he gonna do.
Wait. Crazy.
You know what I mean? He's like, don't forget that little part. Not crazy.
Like physically crazy.
Right. We love you, baby.
He was, he was passionate.
Yeah, that's a good word.
That's the best.
He was passionate.
Not crazy, passionate. He was passionate.
He was very, very passionate. You had guys like
you know how he enunciated
It's like say it gently.
I just I respected the guys that was tough at my position.
Yeah.
Who challenged me physically, who made me like, okay, I got to get up and play today. Guys, Steven Jackson was a guy, was tough to play. He was tough because I knew I had to come think. He was physical. He was going to get dirty. He was going to be with the shits. So I had to be with the shits.
Yeah.
You know what Bonzi Wells, wings like Bonzi Wells. Like
Bonzi?
Yeah, like people don't know Bonzi was a bruiser in the post. Like he would bruise you down there. So it was like I knew I had to meet him physically first. I can't let him hit me before you know what I mean? Like these are things you play around with.
Do you miss that?
That physicality? Yeah.
Just
that part of the game?
Just the game.
I do. I miss.
Now you got a son now.
Yeah, see. I miss because I don't see.
You don't see the physical play
I don't
no
see
more.
it. Yeah. The part that I miss. Right? So now I look at it.
Is that a statement on today? Is that a statement on today's game?
I mean, it is. It's just that's the state of the game. You know what I mean? So the part that I love about the game is that. That's an art. That's music. That's poetry. That's poetic to go down there. If you can score down there, that means you put work in. You get what I'm saying? Like you can put work in and go shoot threes. Like you can work on your three. You know what I mean? You can work on your handle. But like to perfect that area of the game.
You earn that bucket.
that's an earned bucket.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, you know what I mean? It's like
earned bucket.
It's an earned bucket, which means that you have to really understand where you at in position and you know, in space and how far you are from the rim and what the defense. You have a split second to do something down there.
I want to circle this whole convo back.
Yeah, please do.
To our Knicks convo, because you just mentioned some great all-time defenders that you've had. You know, you've had your, not difficulties, but you just remember the playing well. This Pistons team is going to be physical.
Yeah.
And the relationship you built with Karl Anthony Towns this season, I think we all see it after big games. He comes up to you. If he crashes into the baseline, he always shows you love. Y'all have sort of that bond.
Big bodega. That's big bodega.
Big bodega, exactly. Cat calls you up tonight.
Yeah,
before
let's go.
the weekend. He's like, "Yo,
let's go.
We gotta get physical, man. Like, tell me what's the keys? How would you maneuver against this Pistons team if I'm Karl Anthony Towns giving you the call?"
Well, for one, you got to know they out to get you in the way that you got to target Cat. Them 4 and 5s over there in Detroit, you got a target on your back because they want to see, to your point, these great defensive, you know what I mean, powerful, physical bigs. They want to see what type of time you on.
Yep.
You know, and they gonna challenge you, and they gonna continue to challenge you. Stewart don't mind fouling out. Jalen Duran he's like the new Bam Adebayo out here, and like
he's good.
Let's pay attention to him.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Like,
Stewart gets the headlines, but Duran is skilled.
He's the guy.
And physical.
He's the guy. Mm-hmm. He's the guy. Stewart is gonna crash out because that's what he does. He crash out, he foul you, he can play, he's physical, he gotta touch you, he gotta, you know, you cut through the paint, he gonna chuck you. Like, they might bring chucking back in for, you know what I mean? Like,
just for this series.
Just for this series. You know
is this a reincarnation in Bad Boys?
It's like some lineage there, and I'm sure the people that's in those positions of power has looked at that, like, we gotta build this type of team.
It's the type of team the city would support.
This is the type of team that Detroit would be. That's Detroit.
Yeah.
The grit and the grind. You know what I mean? They twat. Like, they twat. But I would tell Cat, like, be prepared for the physicality of the game. The mental aspect of the game is where you gotta really be strong at. Because you're gonna get tested. They scheming on you. And a lot of times you gonna overthink it. Don't overthink it. Just play your game. Shoot the same shots that you shoot. You know what I mean? Play the same way.
And another thing, though, you're not gonna get every call because
he might not get
the play through.
You might not get no calls.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
What happens when you just get no calls?
That's why I said the mental part of the game coming. You got to be mentally strong.
I've seen some things during the season. You know, if you didn't get a call.
This is why I'm making that statement. We gotta be mentally tough. Because if we ain't mentally tough,
this might get surprised.
They can get surprised.
Yeah. All that being said,
because if we're not tough, we can lose a game off lack of toughness.
Right.
Forget the skill and shot making. If we're not tough, we can lose a game off the lack of toughness.
That being said, series prediction. What we got? What's it looking like? What do you see?
I'm gonna say 4-2.
4-2.
Knicks. Yeah, but it's gonna be a hard 6 games.
They're gonna take a piece of flesh.
It's gonna be a hard 6 games, bro. But I think, game 3, 4, 5. I think Detroit? The Knicks will figure it out.
And Tibbs will figure it out.
Tibbs will figure it out. Tibbs will figure it out. And if Detroit figures it out, then you gotta take your hat off.
I personally don't think the Pistons will outcoach the Knicks. Like, I think you give Tibbs the same team to prepare for. It's a rough and tumble team. It's kind of in the same DNA that he kind of likes his teams. You saw what Tibbs did to JB when he was coaching the Cavs. That pretty much outcoached them there. I don't think it's going to be an outcoach.
It's a different team.
Different team.
The Cavs was a finesse team.
Yeah.
This is a backyard brawlers. Like, they backyard wrestling, man.
Yeah.
They don't, and I love that. I mean, it could be too much at times, but I love that type of shit. Like, if you on that time, then that allowed me to be on that time, right? So I got to get my comrades ready to be on that time.
And subconsciously, it gives the ref, like, unless the refs want to control the game.
Nah, because the narrative going into this series, is already being talked about.
Right. It's already playoff basketball. Knicks,
Detroit. And it's going to be a physical series. Yep. So the refs already is aware of that. They looking at all the shit that they have to perfect going into that first game one. And game one going to set the tone for the rest of the series.
So are you saying Knicks have to win game one? At the Garden, the world's most famous.
We got to protect home court. Yeah. Winning game one and game two doesn't mean shit.
Right.
That's stuff that we have to do. We just can't lose 1 or 2. But winning that's what we're supposed to do. Now, when we go to game 3, that's when shit get real.
In Detroit?
In Detroit.
Yeah, it's gonna be.
They're trying to keep us out of there.
Yeah. Yo, Detroit, man, look. I was supposed to be grandfathered in. You know what I'm saying? So allow me to come to the city, man. Allow me and my friends to come to the city and support.
Hall of Fame, let's go.
They're playing dirty with the tickets, man. They gotta let you win.
Come on.
Oh, there's a different timeline.
Let
where
me
that
in the
number
city,
15
man.
is in Detroit.
I got one of them area codes too, man. FanDuel is giving all new customers a shot at $250 in bonus bets. So join FanDuel today. You'll get started with $250 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. From three-pointers to steals to assists, FanDuel has so many ways to bet your favorite player props. The NBA regular season is officially finished and the play-in tournament is here. It's win or go home, so unless these teams want to be home watching, it's now time to lock in. Plus, after the game tips off, you can even combine live prop bets into a same-game parlay for a chance to win big. Just visit FanDuel.com/7PM to get in on all the NBA play-in tournament action. Peloton has what you need to achieve your fitness goals. In my post-retirement career, I still wanted a routine to achieve those goals, maintain a healthy weight, and keep my overall confidence up, which is why I've stayed locked in with Peloton.
Offering a variety of challenging classes from 4-week strength building to running, indoor and outdoor workouts, and everything in between, Peloton will push you to achieve your goals.
You can challenge yourself anywhere with an all-access membership. This allows you to lock in at home with your tread or take your favorite classes on the go with you through the Peloton app.
Backed by thousands of members whose lives have been changed by workouts, experiences, and community, you can use this app to get stronger and use personalized programs for your specific goals.
So find your push. Find your power with Peloton at onepeloton.com. I got to tell you about this game-changing product I used before a night out with drinks. It's called Pre-Alcohol.
ZBiotics is a pre-alcohol probiotic drink, and it's the world's first genetically engineered probiotic. It was invented by PhD scientists to tackle rough mornings after drinking. So here's how it works. When you drink, alcohol gets converted into a toxic byproduct in the gut.
And it's a buildup of this byproduct, not dehydration, that's to blame for rough days after drinking. Pre-alcohol produces an enzyme to break this byproduct down. Just remember to make a pre-alcohol your first drink of the night. Drink responsibly, and you'll feel your best tomorrow.
I ain't gonna hold you. The other night, I was out with a few friends at a bar watching the game, and the next day, I had to come in here to have a taping. I gave pre-alcohol a try before having a few drinks, and just like that, you wouldn't believe how on top of my game I was from the very next morning.
That's a fact, because he was slid.
I was slid a little bit.
So go to zbiotics.com/7PM to learn more and get 15% off your first order when you use 7PM at checkout.
Yeah, ZBiotics is backed by a 100% money-back guarantee, my favorite kind of guarantee. So if you're unsatisfied, they'll refund your money, no questions asked.
That's zbiotics.com/7PM and use the code 7PM at checkout for 15% off today with ZBiotics. If you love watching players get buckets, then you're going to love this promo from Dash Pass. This playoffs, Dash Pass members will receive a special promotion every time a player scores 50 points or more in the game.
All right, so listen up, because this is a Dash Pass members only deal. So sign up today and save more all year round with $0 delivery fees and reduced service fees on eligible orders, plus perks like this one.
When a player scores 50 or more points during the playoffs, Dash Pass members will score a free 3-piece crispy tender combo with Wingstop. To claim the deal, just place a 3-piece crispy tenders combo from Wingstop in your cart. Make sure your cart has a subtotal of $20 or more and drop in the promo code WINGSTOP50 at checkout. Then place your order and enjoy.
Again, make sure you use the promo code Wingstop50 the day after the 50-point game. The offer is valid with use of promo code from noon to midnight the day after a 50-point game on eligible orders at participating merchants. You must have an active Dash Pass account, though, and terms apply.
With the playoffs starting up, you know the stars are going to shine the brightest, so sign up for Dash Pass today for your chance to take part in this exclusive DoorDash deal. They swoosh, you save. Let's shift gears, man, to your world of just filmmaking. Mm-hmm. Highest to lowest, your first narrative film in nearly 5 years and your first time working with Denzel in almost 15, 16 years?
18 years.
18 years.
Inside Man was the last
18 years. Mm-hmm. We always talk about dynamic duos in sports, but when it comes to filmmaking, you two are the actual one of the top dynamic duos.
Well, you got Scorsese and De Niro.
Yeah, but I said up there.
I know. I'm giving a shout out.
They up there too.
Right.
You know what I mean? But we have two of our own.
There you go.
Our brothers, our black men that's up there as one of the dynamic duos.
Money on Mount Vernon.
Speak to us. Speak to us about just that friendship, that partnership, and what makes it so unique.
Well, it's a blessing. As you stated, that I didn't even know till someone told me that Inside Man was 18 years ago.
Yeah.
Time flies. But in order, Mo Better Blues, Malcolm X, He Got Game, Inside Man. And this new film, the fifth film, is entitled Highest to Lowest. It's a reinterpretation, not a remake, of the great Japanese film by the great Japanese filmmaker Akira Kurosawa. It's about a kidnapping. And also the film is Jeffrey Wright, A$AP Rocky, A$AP, and Shedeur, and it's fire. This is
Ice Spice in it too, right?
Who?
Ice Spice?
She's in it, but it's really a cameo role.
Got it.
But this film, Denzel, he in this film he plays a music mogul. Has the best known as having the best ears in the business. And there's a kidnapping.
Is it a true story?
No, it's not a true story, but it's from a novel written by an American, but the Kurosawa, they adapted it first. So this is action-packed, nail-biter, funny AF. And Denzel, have you seen Othello yet on Broadway?
Absolutely.
I'm just blessed to work with one of the greatest actors ever. And
entertainer, showman.
Yeah, and then
performer.
Yeah, and we just got invited to the Cannes Film Festival.
Wow,
nice.
So the world premiere is going to be in Cannes May 19th. And I believe in numerology. That's a very special to me because the world premiere of Do the Right Thing, May 19th, 1989, was in Cannes. And this May 19th will be Malcolm X's 100th birthday.
Absolutely, sure indeed.
So this
stars are aligning, man.
The numerology. What's funny is that I was looking at some Instagram, and like 4 or 5 years ago, people were saying that A$AP looked like he's Denzel's son. And do you ever see that?
Yeah, I've seen those memes. Yeah.
Everybody says it. Yeah. And then in the film, we use that. But in A$AP, man, he fire. There's some scenes with him and D head to head. He ain't backing up.
Really?
It's like, I'm here too.
Yeah.
So very, very happy with the way the film turned out and looking forward to share it with the world. So the world premiere is going to be in Cannes, in May. So
shout out to Denzel, man.
Man, listen.
Because I'm a fan, you know what I mean? I watch and I see how you move, and you watch certain people, movements and energy and
artists, athletes, just in general, right?
You watch it, you know what I mean? Especially the ones you respect, in their craft, right? I like Denzel got a different glow about him, like around him right now, like he moving differently, like it is, and it's a very positive. It's a very positive aura that he has. It's almost like. Okay, I'm like, not he's at peace. Like I'm just, you know what? And it's crazy.
Great
it's crazy because I'm I listen to his interviews and I'm watching certain shit that he say and the certain shit that he move, and it's like this aura reminds me of when Jay was doing Black Album, like when he was like, "This is it."
Yeah,
you get what I'm saying? Like this is the energy that I'm feeling from Denzel. I haven't seen Denzel. I'm just going off of what I see from afar. A lot of his interviews, a lot of that energy is like
the movie roles he's chosen.
This is it. Like this is I'm about to ride out in it. In a sense, he probably got a couple more films left.
Like the way he
talks, the energy. Like that's the energy.
Yeah, like I've seen a few interviews with Denzel where he's basically like, for as an accomplished actor as he is, he's not really a quote unquote movie buff, right? And I think he
doesn't watch movies.
Doesn't watch movies, right? Like there was an Apple documentary, I think it was called First on the Call Sheet or something like that, about Black actors and actresses and their experiences in Hollywood and whatnot. And everything Denzel had to say just about his experience in the industry and becoming the leading man in Hollywood. I mean, you were at the very beginning of all of that, you know, and now many years later, you're still making films together. Is there a point in time where, you know, you get back into that working mode with each other that you see some of that reignited hunger? Is it something where it's like, you know, when he's doing these roles in these movies that we talk about people that are masters of their craft, there's a different level of focus to them? Like a dude like Denzel doesn't seem like he has anything to prove, but the way you're talking about the movie, the Othello, the Gladiator 2, all these roles he's taken, you said it. It seems like he's in a different level of creating right now.
I've read some of those interviews, and the way he talks, and I was like, I'm beginning to see the end of me being in front of the camera or on stage. And Denzel and I, our relationship, you know, we don't hang out, you know, but when we see each other,
right back in pocket.
It's like, it could be like 3-4 years. I mean, the last film we worked before this film was Inside Man. And when someone told me I was 18 years old, I said, what? I didn't believe it.
It was like yesterday.
I didn't believe it. But you know what I'm talking about. You
Absolutely.
know, when you're vibing with somebody, they've got to be in your face every minute.
That's a fact.
Right or wrong?
When it's real, it's real.
There you go.
It's fact.
Feel me?
I felt it, though. You know, it's, you feel it, you see it. You know what I'm saying? Because
you got nothing to prove anymore.
I've been in that space before.
Yeah.
So to recognize that space, it's like, oh, okay, like I see it. You know, you can see it in the acting. You watch Gladiator 2, like he tapped into something different in Gladiator 2. Othello, you tapped into something totally different. He went back home on Othello, like that's theater. That's what he do. Like that shit is
that's the bread and butter.
Yeah, he says, I'm not a film actor. He says, I'm a stage actor.
I'm a stage actor. Yeah, like that's theater. That's totally different. That's hard as shit. that's like NBA basketball and 1-on-1. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you 1v1 over there.
No, once you're on stage, no cuts.
It's 5-on-5 and then it's 1-on-1 with theater.
But is there a certain level of comfort though of working with Denzel where you know that you have this history of incredible films and even on set you're just like, yeah, we got another one. This one's going to be just as good as the best one.
For me, we still got work to do, you know, with the overall thing. But you just gotta. Denzel's an actor. I mean, you know, if I see something, I'm gonna go up to him. But you know, most of the time, I'm not gonna like Denzel. Plus, he wouldn't let me do that anyway. We the stuff we have to do is done rehearsal. In rehearsal, where they read through the script and then we have the individual rehearsals with the actors with. That's where we do the work. But once we're on set, you know,
that's the game.
We're going.
The rehearsal is practice.
We're going. And so rehearsal, that's the important part. So we got to make sure that we're both on the same page. And if we're not, we work that shit out
before.
You can't do that on the set.
You work it out in the locker room. At halftime.
That's the thing you do not want to do.
Yeah.
In rehearsal, it's just the actors. Nobody else. It's just us. Work it. That's what you got to do.
On the set, no. So you have a very diverse catalog, and then within that catalog of cult classics, like you have all the cult classics. Do the Right Thing, Malcolm X, He Got Game. We're going to stick with He Got Game for a second. Given the cultural impact of that movie on sports, films, and for just your overall love for the game, why is it that you never really went back and directed another sports drama or sports themed film? Is it because
or He Got Game sequel?
Is it because
I hear a lot of She Got Game.
She Got Game,
which might be crazy. Yeah. That's crazy. But like, why is it that you haven't went back after that?
Well, the first sport I wanted to make was a film about Jackie Robinson.
Hell of a job with that.
I was going to do it with Ted Turner. And my approach was I wanted to do the film about his entire life, not just 1947. And so they chose to go the other way with the late great Chadwick. And before that, I still have another script I want to do. It's called Save Us Joe Louis. It's about Joe Louis and his relationship with Max Schmeling. Joe Louis, world champion of the world. There's a German heavyweight, Max Schmeling. It was 1938. And he wants to fight Joe Louis. And Hitler does not want him to go to America to fight Joe Louis Yankee Stadium because it would be embarrassment to the Aryan race if you lose to this baboon and monkey, which was, you read Mein Kampf, that's what Hitler said we were.
Yep.
And Joe Louis didn't train. In fact, Hitler didn't even give him the Hindenburg. But when he knocked him out, he sent the Hindenburg, this big balloon. He sent the Hindenburg back to Germany. So Joe Louis at his lowest. And so the second fight, both in Yankee Stadium, people think whoever wins this fight, that'll be the winner of World War II. And Joe knocked his ass out. And I wrote this script with the great Bud Schulberg. Bud Schulberg won the Academy Award. He wrote On the Waterfront, one of my favorite films, Marlon Brando. We became friends. Also, he's in the Boxing Hall of Fame. And so Bud Schulberg was both fights. So we were hanging out on fights, and we just said, let's write the script together. And on Bud's deathbed, I mean, he said, Spike, you gotta make this film. So I made a promise to him, I'm gonna get it done. I mean, Lena Horne's in it. I mean, Sugar Ray Robinson. I mean, everybody is in this fight. And the ironic thing is that Joe broke several of Max Schmeling's bones in the spine, the second fight. Hitler did not send the Hindenburg to get him. In fact, they pulled the plug in Germany on the rail broadcast before the knockout. He came back several weeks later, fucked up. Then they drafted him in to be a parachuter. So they definitely want him to kill him.
Yeah, fact.
World War II's over. Corporate America looking to get into Europe. And so Coca-Cola needs a president for Coca-Cola. And they picked Max Schmeling.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Joe Louis got caught up with drugs, cocaine, and he's at the greeter, Caesar's Palace, one of those hotels. And so the whole thing flipped. Joe's broke on drugs, and Schmeling is a millionaire now, president of Coca-Cola. But they always had that friendship. So that I made a promise to Bud, I'm going to make that film. Got to get it done.
Wow.
That's a
sports
film.
Yeah, that's a sports story.
But it's amazing. Imagine this where people think the fate of World War II is going to be determined by this heavyweight match in Yankee Stadium.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like, and then, he was our hero, Joe.
Yeah.
I mean, he was really before. You could say, he was pre-Jackie Robinson, where when Jackie, black folks look every day, how did Jackie do? Because we know everything depended upon him. Branch Rickey, of course, owner of the Dodgers, signed him. But Jackie was 53 years old when he died.
Yeah.
His hair was white as your sweatshirt. But he sacrificed his life for us.
That's stressing.
It was so, we knew what the importance was.
Yeah.
If he fucked up, it might have been another 20 years.
He knew the assignment.
He knew. There you go.
He knew the assignment.
So if he has another 10 years, then Willie Mays ain't getting in.
That's a fact.
Roberto Clemente.
Poppy,
Come on.
that's a fact.
Clemente, Hank Aaron, Frank Robinson.
That's the story right
you
there.
know? He paved the way.
Yeah.
Jackie.
It's more than just playing well. You got to do it with a certain level of class and dignity.
And let's be honest. Anything we do, we got to be got to be extra. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah. We got to be way better.
Yeah, Jack Johnson.
If the admission is $5,
he fucked up with the microphone.
Jack Johnson fucked up.
He made it hard on himself. And then in the script, we have Jack Johnson wanted to train him.
Yeah.
And they said, nah.
You can't fuck with Jack. You fuck with Jack.
You got to stay back.
Jack out fucking up. Jack out here crashing up.
You fucking shit up, man. You got to stay out of this.
Yeah, you can't be in the drop top with the joint.
But you guys looking crazy out here.
But all these historical FDRs in the scene with FDR summons Jackie Robinson. Summons Joe Louis. FDR was in a wheelchair. He said, Jackie, come here. These are the biceps gonna make us beat the Nazis. I mean, it's
you got all the fucking epic stories.
I gotta tell you, it truly is an honor to sit and have this conversation this day at this time.
This day.
Man. It truly is. It's one of the honors of my career, man. But just to continue on the sports conversation, He Got Game has such a stronghold on basketball culture, man. Like to this day. Jesus Shuttlesworth, Space Jam Jordans, bringing, the jail scene, like the
Denzel
recruiting scene.
Knee brace.
The knee brace. Something out.
Yeah, the knee brace.
You leave about the assistant coaches.
Yeah, the assistant coaches and all that.
Classic scene.
Oh, man.
Shout out Rick
That's
Fox.
what we talk about.
Yeah, the
assistant coaches.
That's a hidden gem in the movie, though.
And then Rick is the escort.
Yeah. I'm telling you, man. That scene,
Rick Fox.
I promise you, that scene alone had changed the trajectory of so many young teenagers who wanted to take basketball serious. He's like, that's what happens in college? Let me get my shit together.
That was the first probably NIL movie.
It had to be. That and Blue Chips,
Spike,
like
you
the
fucked
first.
the game up. You know what I mean? You fucked the game up, Spike.
Those are the first two movies
Yeah.
that made me realize just how big business college basketball was and how much of a decision.
And you know who get this? You know who get the credit for all of this?
O'Bannon
brothers.
The O'Bannons, yeah.
They get the credit for like going at and losing. They lost the case.
They lost, but ultimately,
look what we have.
Greater good.
Now Spike made NIL movies before NIL was even thought about.
It's getting a little taste of what's going on.
There was some camp in Princeton where everybody was there. That's how we got all those coaches in it.
Yeah.
Say, Jesus. And Dean Smith said to me, Spike, you can tell I'm going to put a pornographic film.
Rest in peace, Dean Smith. Oh, man.
I just said, say it. They didn't know what the was about, but that was all the coaches was there.
Yeah.
I had everybody in that.
Roy was there too.
So did you film that scene?
Everybody.
You filmed all that scene?
Everybody.
It was all at once. Okay.
You set the tone with that though, because seeing them figureheads in there, like the coaches at that point in time,
it was the movie.
It's hard. They hated each other. Those coaches.
Yeah, like that. It was a basketball movie that felt like such a real inside look into the sport, especially at that time, right? Like ESPN was still kind of like finding its feet a little bit, so you didn't really know. But that movie, and especially that scene where everybody's talking about Jesus Shuttlesworth, you got Michael Jordan at the end of it, and it's like, oh my God, you got Dick Vitale, you got all the, Nolan Richardson, Dean Smith, like just
John Thompson,
just the basketball Hall of Famers.
What's Temple's coach?
John Chaney.
John Chaney.
Yeah. Like just all those, man. Like that movie was so pivotal for basketball culture. I know you get asked about
assistant
doing
coaches.
Another one, of course, the assistant coach.
That's the first thing that comes up. Let's get
but that's real. But see,
but it's a real.
That's
but it's a real.
You had to have real insight.
Yes.
Somebody gave you real insight.
All the guys.
Yeah, they gave you real insight. I know how you go down your path of
all right.
You know what I mean?
John, let's name the guys. John
Chaney.
No,
Wallace.
John Wallace.
Yeah. Oh, John Wallace, right.
Ray
Fox.
Travis Best.
Walter McCarthy.
Yeah.
And my man, there was what's his name? He was an actor. He wasn't.
Is it Hill Harper?
Yeah,
Hill Harper.
Yeah,
That's there you go. That's deep pull. That's deep pull.
I had to spark the activism. You know what I mean?
So you're so astute, sir, because we sat in a room and everybody talked about this stuff.
Yeah, because this is at a point, you're talking about the 90s.
Yeah.
Of how they had to recruit in the 90s. You got to play on that campus. You and that play he committing right then and there. You're not going home and saying what if and put the jersey on. What you think about this? Nah.
But they signed the star player on the team already with the recruit, right?
Absolutely. So they already. That's how it was. That's how it operated.
Explain. All right. Compare and contrast your recruitment visit.
See, I like to say I'm a hybrid.
Okay.
Because I played in different, not like basketball, but I'm part of different generations.
You're like a bridge.
I'm a bridge. I'm the conduit to multiple generations.
Yeah.
I like that word.
I know. I grew up on the 90s.
You grew up pre-internet.
90s. Mm-hmm. I also was born in the 80s. So you growing up with guys in the 80s, but the 90s is where you start to really learn and study and players and follow.
Yep.
Right? So it's like that He Got Game was like the North Star of like recruiting. Like when I go on campus, I want that experience. It may not have to be with the women or the girls, but I want that experience. I want
them to walk in, say your name.
I want to walk around with the best player on the team and go to class
with the
that's how it was.
Melo.
Yeah, that was how
Melo,
you know what I mean?
You should come here.
I was already committed before I took my visits. You know what I'm saying? The Cuse. But like that was like, damn.
Why Syracuse?
In Red all my family was St. John's. Like most of my family was St. John's.
You only got New York.
Red Storm. You walk in the house, it's Luke Honor-Seca. It's you know what I mean?
Who was on the team then?
My years?
Yeah,
Marcus Hatton, Boosie Thornton.
On St. John's, right?
Yeah.
Honor-Seca was the coach.
Honor-Seca was, you had Artest. I mean, Honor-Seca was before that, but Artest.
Was Jarvis coaching then?
Jarvis was that coach.
Okay.
Mike Jarvis. Eric Barkley. Like, you know what I mean? You had Kyle Cuff. Like, you had those.
But you played against the guys in the summertime, though, right?
They won era older. You know what I mean? Above me.
Okay.
But I came up looking at those scenarios and seeing like, because back then it wasn't no internet. You had magazines. So who you saw was the number one players, who you followed, right? You followed Street and Smiths and Bob Gimmer's reports and all of that. And Tom Kachowski, rest in peace. So you look at like, then who's the number one player on Street and Smith? And you start looking, and then you start looking at players that similar to your upbringing and what you got going on. So for me in New York, it was Steph. It was Felipe Lopez, right? You know, even though he's Cuban, Dominican, I'm Puerto Rican, it's like you still was part of that Latino culture, right? So it's like Lamar Odom was my favorite player in high school. He's probably one of the greatest.
Queens, right?
Yeah, one of the greatest high school players I've ever seen. Eric Barkley, you know what I mean? You start tapping into Omar Cook family lived on the second floor in my building in Rutland, right around the corner.
Wow.
So like you start having these.
We playing each other in the summer?
Nah, I'm younger.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying? So like when you hear about old Cook coming to Red Hook and these guys and playing in Coney Island and Sunset Park and all of that.
Play at Tillery?
And Tillery, and you know, you was like.
So St. John's was the original dream school.
St. John's in my hood and Red Hook was it.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah.
When I went to Baltimore, is when I started understanding the game and like.
What age did you go to Baltimore?
8.
8?
Yeah. So now I'm playing basketball. And the only thing I hear down there is Big East and ACC. Is Maryland and it's Georgetown and it's George Washington and like these were the big schools. So growing up into that, I followed people that came from my hood who went to school. We had a player, Michael Lloyd from Baltimore, who actually went to Syracuse. And he was like one of the first players, second players coming from Baltimore that went. And I'm like, oh shit. That's my memory of watching college and watching Michael Lord, number 15, Syracuse play against Allen Iverson, Georgetown. Like, these are battles that we talking about. So in my hood, this is what we sat at underneath of the TV and watch. And it's like, that's who I want to be that. Like, I want to go there. You know what I mean? You see other guys. I had a lot of guys, man, guys that I looked up to growing up. And it's like, damn, like, that's what I want to be. Like, I want to go to Temple.
What age is this?
Huh?
8, around. So young, though, right?
I was young growing up into just the game of basketball and the culture of Baltimore at this time.
Right.
Where Sam Cassell is the champion. Like, so we looking at Sam Cassell like, oh shit, yo, Sam is coming back to the rec. Like,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm that kid.
And NBA championship.
Yeah. So he's coming back to Baltimore with that energy. And it's like, oh shit, we got Sam Cassell over here. He coming back to the rec center. He in the gym working out 2, 3 in the morning. You got to sneak out your house to go around and walk around the corner to see Sam here and there playing one-on-ones. Like,
was that like the first pro player you were like in proximity of, like growing up?
Yeah, Sam Cassell in Baltimore is our, you know, at that point was our guy. He still is our
Kenny
guy.
Anderson, Marbury, those guys.
You know what I mean? So it's like when you talk about basketball and B-more, Sam is that guy. You know, so as a student of the game, you follow who came before you.
You ever play softball growing up?
I played baseball.
Yeah?
That was my first love.
What position were you?
First base and pitching.
Yeah?
Yeah. I fell in love with first
Little
base.
League?
Played Little League. I played all the way up. I wanted to play in high school, but my high school team was ass. So, you know what I'm saying? I felt like I ain't want to struggle no more. Like I ain't had a bread to go buy cleats. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't
get cleats?
Nah, man, I couldn't have no cleats, man. I ain't had no cleats. I was playing in I was playing in Kevin Johnson Converses and all like that with the strap.
You hit?
I was nice. I would say at that point in time I was better in baseball than basketball.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah. Like I could have stuck with baseball.
I think it worked out.
No, man, I don't listen. I don't regret anything. But baseball was like the first time that I felt like, damn, I really love this. Like basketball was. I always had a basketball in the crib playing, but once baseball was like it's just something about baseball.
You still a baseball fan?
Big time.
Yeah.
There's a specific age where you're just like, you know, kind of like when Keon was here talking about football and basketball. There's a specific age for you of baseball and basketball. Where
when you realize, man, I ain't gonna take that. Like I know I'm not gonna take that. I'm not gonna be as committed to that as I am to basketball. So if I ain't committed to that, then it start to dwindle down. You know what I mean? It just start to fade away after a while.
When did you know that you're going to the NBA?
After we won it.
After the Natty?
After the Natty.
Really? You didn't think
Nah, they were saying like at Oak Hill, they was saying, you know, come out of high school. But it was like 25th pick, 27th pick. I'm like, hey, I'm not going to fuck out of here. I'm not going to the league out of high school to be the 25th pick. I know what happens in 25th picks.
Exactly.
At that point in time. You get what I'm saying? Nah, and I'm not ready. I didn't think I was ready. Everybody else probably thought I was, but I didn't see it in myself. So
well, you still felt like you were going to be an NBA player.
And that wasn't preached to me. NBA wasn't preached. Gotcha. It was, you go to college, you go to campus. We want that experience.
So I didn't change one and done for everybody, man.
Yeah, like, you think about pledging when you were there?
Nah, I used to get it. We used to get into scraps and shit up there. You know what I'm saying?
With the Q Dogs?
Boys? Yeah, man. What's the red and white? What's the red and white?
Kappas.
Yeah, they was out of control up there, man.
They be trying to clear the dance floor.
They trying to recruit you?
Oh, that's
my first day, we got to fight with Kappas. I don't know if they want me to say this, but we on the
first day?
First day, we in the shrine. My teammates go, you know, hopefully y'all can butt it, but we on the shrine, we in Cuse. And it's the opening party for the whole campus. First day, all the frats throwing their parties. They coming out and they doing their set. And I don't know no better. I've never been around that. I'm not exposed to that. We in the corner, you bump the teammate. Like, because they come through crazy.
Yeah. They in that line, you got to get out the way. Yeah.
It's just crazy.
They came doing that and the thing doing that thing.
Because that was their moment.
Wow.
to introduce everybody. I mean, I don't know how it worked, but that was their moment to show.
Or something? What's it called?
Probably. It was they way to show and introduce the campus to what they had going on. And they pushed one of the kids. And all you see is swing off. Boom, boom, boom. All you see is all red, white boots and shit. Just
Bedlam, huh?
This is what this shit is.
First week in Syracuse this happened.
This was the first day.
First day in Syracuse.
Yeah. Because Cuse is it's only Cuse up there.
Yeah.
So you're getting everybody from Lemoyne. You're getting, not Cornell, it's another school up there. With a C, but they coming out. You getting people from Buffalo that's coming down.
Oh, okay, all right.
Colgate,
all right,
you got Colgate. So everybody is coming to Cuse on this opening night.
Yeah,
and it's mayhem out there. one of the greatest experiences I've ever had. You know what I mean? So once I started getting to that energy and understanding that, it's like, man, I don't want to leave this shit. Like I want to experience this. Like what it's like.
I think folks always think you capping when you talk about you were ready to stay.
Bro, I was dead ass serious, bro.
You was dead ass.
Yeah, like
the more I hear your college stories, I'm like, yo,
people could understand how it got to that point.
Yeah, yeah.
I was in a 2-hour meeting with Boeheim before that press conference.
Wow.
And he like, get the fuck out. Like, don't be a fool.
I don't think, I still have a hard time believing you because as long as I've seen your name, it's always top 3, top 5. Even at
I'm going to tell you what I battle with. What I dealt with. I'm a very secure man, right? At that point in time, I wasn't as secure at that point in time. So if I didn't feel like I was ready, I was just always like, man, I'm not ready for that. Like I can't do this and I can't. I was always questioning and second guessing, even though I was doing my thing. But I think me second guessing and being kind of intimidated or scared of just like the unknown and shit like that, it allowed me to go out there and play with this chip on my shoulder because it's like, fuck that. I don't want to feel that. Like I don't want to feel that. So at that point in time, I wasn't a confident guy in the sense of like, man, I'm here, I'm doing this and I'm doing that, I'm making that. It was like, nah, like I had to ask everybody, man, what you think? What you think? What you think? And if I heard one bad thing, it was like, no, I'm not doing it.
Wow.
And that was something I had to grow.
But what made the flip though?
What made the flip was the fact that I realized from a basketball standpoint, it was nothing that I can do in college anymore. I went to college, played as a freshman. I won. I experienced every level of winning in college. So coming back, I probably wouldn't have experienced that. You know, maybe people say we would have repeated or to me, I don't believe in that. You know what I'm saying? Because you still got to go put the actual work in.
Keep it moving, right?
You got to keep it moving. So I was like, man, you know what? I'm a.
When you said 2 week, you said 2-hour meeting. Now, coach told you to keep you stay.
I told him I was staying.
Trying to convince him to stay.
Oh, it was a press conference.
Oh, okay.
That was supposed to happen. That obviously it happened. Prior to the press conference, I'm in the room with him, and I'm like, I'm not leaving.
Was this press conference originally to tell the press that you were staying for another year?
The press conference was like a decision press conference.
Wow.
And I went to meet with him before, and we was talking about
2 hours.
Yeah, I mean, he could talk. You know what I'm saying? He done a lot of convincing because I was adamant of like, I'm not leaving. I'm not going. I'm not going. Nah, no. And he's like, listen, there's nothing you can fucking do in college anymore. I was like, you know what? I walked out of there, and that's where you see like the tears and all that on the press conference. I'm like, damn, like I'm not gonna be able to do this no more.
Yeah,
I'm just getting comfortable. I'm starting to see the people that I've seen in September again for the first time in March.
Oh wow,
it's cold as shit up there. You don't see nobody.
Yeah. So you were just getting used to the college life that you saw.
I'm just
and he got game.
The quad is going crazy,
and now it's like get to the league.
The quad is going crazy. So everything was happening so fast after that. And after we won it, it was just happening so fast. So I never got a chance to kind of sit back and analyze or just process a lot of that.
Man.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
That's the press
conference. Incredible story, man. So shout out to It wouldn't happen if it wasn't for this man's film right here, man. He got game.
That is a fact. That is a
One
fact.
of the greatest movies in the history of basketball culture.
I got a lot of schools in trouble too.
Definitely did.
He got game.
Definitely
Got a
did.
lot of universities.
What kind of trouble?
It was 25 years too early.
What kind of trouble?
Because you set the, you know what I mean? You really
put it out
show,
there.
you really show what this is like, right? For a black athlete in that type of environment who don't have the resources and access of being able to go to college or the funds to go to college, and they are put into these experiences. And it's almost, you expose the whole.
Question.
You expose I'm like, yo, damn, Spike, Spike, cut that shit out.
I put him on game.
Cut that out, Spike.
Pun intended.
Pun
Put him
intended.
on game. Good question.
Cut that out.
You know the scene where John Turturro's the coach?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You hear any coaches like that? That stuff he's doing.
See what I'm saying? See, Spike is a real. Let me tell you something. Before we go to the next, Spike is a real sports buff.
Facts.
Right?
Facts.
People I don't think we give him enough credit. Like, you in the Hall of Fame, champ.
Yeah, man.
Like, you as a fan, that's hard to fucking do. He's
the first in my eyes. Like,
bro, you're a fan.
Yeah.
The mega fan. You're the ultimate sports fan. And to get
I got it from Jack Nicholson.
Yeah, to see.
Jack.
No,
When I was a kid,
Jack
see
is-
Jack was out west, though. That's a fact.
Got the Great Western Forum.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
And you understood, like, Jack had that.
Yeah.
And you got this.
We need the East Coast
You know
version
what I'm
of that.
saying? You
got
Spike
that.
over here, so I don't think people understand. Like, you are in the Hall of Fame, so this is a Hall of Fame podcast, and we got Hall of Famers up here. So
That's right.
I just wanted to say that.
I appreciate that,
I beat you,
man.
You beat me there, champ. You beat me there.
I didn't even know they did it for fans.
Yeah,
Until I got the call. I said,
you was the barrier, Jan. You broke the,
You
I
broke the
didn't know
mold, Spike.
I didn't know that.
Broke the mold for real. Speaking of this breaking the mold, wanted to change subjects real quick. We're going to pass the baton a little bit because I recently had the pleasure of attending a screening for the brand new Ryan Coogler directed movie,
Dope!
Sinners.
Dope!
Incredible film. You called it the greatest experience you've had watching a film in years. You then went on to proclaim it is Black cinematic power. We've seen these dope ads for Kodak where Ryan Coogler is breaking down, just the amount of detail that went into picking the film. Obviously, this movie's been in production for a long time, and it hits theaters, I think, this week, but
April 19th.
it got 100%.
The 19th, I think?
Friday.
100% on Rotten Tomatoes, and Ryan Coogler continues his incredible run
It's my brother.
as one of the most important, directors of our time. So, Spike, I need to know your thoughts on, the future of filmmaking, especially with Ryan Coogler and as you see it.
Whew. Ryan, I was in LA, and he called me up and said, "You want to?" I said, "Yeah, I'm here." He said, "Well, we're testing the IMAX for this new film." I said, "What's the film?" I didn't even know what it was. It's Spinners. He comes with a bet. So it's myself, Ryan, and his beautiful wife, and man, I thought I was the courtside. I was jumping up.
Insane. Yeah.
You ask him, man. Yeah. Watching that film, it was like I was courtside in the Garden. We were winning. It's amazing. There's one scene. I don't want to get everything, but there's one scene where the steady cams, so you follow the people, and it goes through the whole history of our music.
Mm-hmm.
You saw it.
Yeah.
That's your Baltimore.
Yeah, no facts.
That's a fact. And then at first, my brother playing twins, but then I got it.
Yeah.
I hope everybody's come out April 19th, support this film. It's amazing.
It's incredible.
It's an incredible film, man. Obviously,
Michael B. Jordan, just
attention to details.
The attention to detail. Michael B. Jordan did his thing. We talked about the kinship between you and Denzel. I think Ryan and Michael B. Jordan have like a similar kinship.
Yeah. They're doing that thing too.
If you haven't seen the synopsis for Sinners or the trailer for Sinners, it's a brand new take on horror, but it's also very culturally rich at the same time, and it's just a mixture. It's almost like 3 movies in one. There's a lot of things that sort of happen.
For me, he told me the film was a horror film before. I said, "What is it?" And I don't think it's a horror film.
No.
I don't know exactly what the word is, but it's He invented a new genre.
Yeah, that's a different genre.
You feel me?
That's a different genre. I'm with you when you're right.
It's a new genre.
It gives me the same feeling I got the first time I saw Get Out, where I'm like, it's a horror film, but like
it's the
there's so much happening.
Experience. Like that's it.
Like it's a whole experience.
Nah, that shit is fire, man.
Man.
He I just love to see him work.
Yeah.
And going back to our history, Black history, like our story is so strong and deep rooted that a lot of it is horror at the end of the day, right? So to be able to artistically like put that into story, to filmmaking, to be able to still keep the essence of what we built and our ancestors and the spirit
built this country.
You know what I mean? Like the spirit of our ancestors, spirit of the land.
Can't see in the morning, can't see at night. And this guy, they put it back in, but to take Jackie Robinson and just delete the stuff that he was in.
Oh, in
the army?
In the White House Congressional Library or something like that. Erase his whole military history, which is American history. You would want to show that
it's
off.
American history. So to that point is why a lot of experience we've had and our ancestors have had are very horrific.
Yeah.
It's to the point where it stays in your mind. It stays in your soul.
We have it in us. We have it
in us.
We have it in us.
So it's like until you're able to face that, you ain't gonna understand that. And we wonder why we stressed out. We wonder why we always, we upset or we having bad days.
Yeah.
You know what? Trauma.
Like,
trauma. Yeah.
And that's
Black
really
trauma.
That's really all it is. And I think him exposing that Black trauma, whereas a lot of people wouldn't want to touch that.
Right.
And I don't think a lot of people could do it that way.
Nah,
you know what I mean? Like creatively, I don't think a lot of people could tell that story like that.
Without giving too much of the movie away, there's like this underlying, like there's sort of like an underlying knowledge that you want your audience to sort of come in with. And they do a good job of still setting that up.
The baseline.
And then when it gets to the horror part, it just flips all that on its ear. And it's just like, oh.
We deal with demons.
We do.
It ain't new, right? It ain't new.
We deal with demons, other people's demons. We deal with our own demons, like sinners, dog. Like, you know what I mean? When you really break that down, like, it's powerful.
Oh, I love it. And even on top of that, and I want to get your thoughts on this, Spike. Ryan Coogler, he owns the IP for this movie. It's his first original straight up film. It's not a remake. It's not it's not a biopic. It's not a, comic book movie. It's the first time it's straight from his brain to the screen. And a lot of people are saying it has franchise potential. As somebody who has been in the shoes that Ryan has sat in as far as like creating something organically, especially in a time where I think people are craving original, material, not so much remakes and all this other stuff. How important is it for this movie specifically to be successful?
No, it's gonna.
As far as like how Black Hollywood is going on,
this film's gonna be very successful, and I think we need this film now too. We need this film, and it's not just to get a Black audience either. I think everybody's coming to this because of his track record of films he's done and the terrific work on Black Panther series. And the reason why this is not a Marvel Disney date, because he went to Warner Bros. Warner Bros. Was only still was that he would let him own the film. He owns this film.
Yep.
It's, I don't know how many years it is, but the rights can revert back to him.
Yeah.
This is a original screenplay. All this is his. So that was a power move too.
In addition to that, I feel like in the past maybe like 5 years, I think Issa Rae spoke about this on the podcast as well, like just studios in general, for one reason or another, have probably fell back from investing in a lot of Black storytelling and Black filmmaking for a number of people. And I think a movie's success like this, your success in highest to lowest and all that type of stuff, do you think that sort of like starts to get that energy back, or is that something that You've seen the game a million times. It's just like,
wait, do you see my look?
I know how this goes already. I know the politics already, but
this films aren't, the studios and the streamers aren't making a lot of stuff now. I mean, I got friends that are call me up for work in LA, no, even in New York, nobody's
shooting working.
So people are hurting. People are hurting. I'm talking about not just the actors, but the craft. The people working on. So it's we're in a crazy spot right now.
Yeah.
Just in general, globally. And shit's crazy. I mean, I'm not gonna break it down further than that. It's bananas.
Yeah.
Bananas.
It all trickles down, man. When it's crazy up here, like the arts, the cultures, all that stuff, it's all affected.
You made me think about this. Anytime, not anytime, but for us as a people, it's always been the artist to reflect what's going on. You go back, Vietnam, Marvin Gaye count, what's going on, and just Stevie Wonder. So it's the artists, I think, and athletes too, to speak upon what's happening. Go back to John Carlos, Tommy Smith, 68, Mexico. They paid a price for it.
Yeah.
What's my man's name? Chris
Jackson. Chris Jackson.
Mahmoud
Abdul-Rauf. Yeah.
What happened to him? He that wasn't even a fist.
He just turned his back. Yeah,
he prayed.
That's what he did. He's praying.
He prayed.
Yeah.
Gone.
Yeah. Ignorance is bliss, though.
So for me, I'm just speaking for myself. I mean, it's tough now, but if our ancestors look back on us now, they say, man, what are you worrying about?
Yeah.
We built this country. Brought here, captured, 1619, work from Kansas City morning, Kansas City at night, get off on Sundays, families torn apart, our mothers and sisters raped. I mean, we went through it. So, for me, that's what gives me
to
keep going. Like, this. I mean, it can be horrible. Like, then I say, wait a minute, this is light.
That's a fact.
Right.
Keep resilient. Keep stepping. And it's but I'm not trying to downplay it. It's just rough now.
Yeah,
Well, it's rough.
Speaking about rough, like we have this like a very special kind of segment because you seg. It's a great segue. Great segue. No,
you segue
great segue. We have
I'm just here.
It's great segue.
You still directing without even directing.
I want you to stay right there where you at, though. You understand? But we have this segment on the show called 7 p.m. Moment. Right, it refers to that kind of fork in the road moment where we're going this way or going that way will sit you down a very specific path. So you have been locked in about like what you decide. I'm very curious to know, like, what was your 7 p.m. moment? When do you decide, like, you know what, I'm going right instead of going left? This is the moment that I have to really take advantage on in my life in order for me to propel my career or whatever I want to achieve.
Great question. Grew up here in Brooklyn, went to John Dewey High School, Coney Island, went down back to Atlanta, to Morehouse. My father went to Morehouse. My father was a senior. My father was a freshman. Martin Luther King was a senior. I'm in Martin Luther King, the third and I'm in the same class 9. My grandfather went to Morehouse. My mother and grandmother went to Spelman. So I come, from educated Negroes. And my mother would take me to films. She loved films, but my father hated Hollywood films. I'm the oldest, so she would take me to films. So I was introduced to films, but I didn't want to be a filmmaker. And my mother died when I was a sophomore at Morehouse and came back to school. Oh, here's the story. She got sick. So my father said, Spike, you got to come home. So my mother was up in Brooklyn Hospital, right over here on DeKalb Avenue. And she was hanging on. My father, she's getting better. So my father said, you should go back to school. I went back to school, landed, called home, and my Aunt Nancy picked up the phone. Aunt Nancy is the mother of Malcolm Lee. That's my cousin.
That's
wow.
His uncle, Malcolm's father, my father are brothers.
Wow.
Malcolm Lee, you know. Great filmmaker. And so I was fucked up. And I got terrible grades. And the summer, this is the key. I came home from Atlanta the summer 1977. This one life changed. Came home and New York City was broke. There's a famous Daily News front page. Ford, the city dropped dead, President Ford. There were no summer jobs. Nothing. Everybody was broke. And a woman named my friend, Vietta Johnson, went to Stuyvesant High School, Harvard undergrad, Princeton undergrad, Harvard med school. She was always smart. So we're just sitting on my stoop playing Stratomatic baseball. And I said, let me go see what Vietta's doing. And this is one of the most important days of my life. So I walk over to University Towers. You know where they are, right there on Ashland Place, on the other side of Fort Greene Park. I rang the bell. She said, come on up. So she's studying some SAT test, something. So I'm sitting on a sofa, and in the corner is a box. I said, what's in that box? I'm being curious. He said, it's a film camera, a Super 8 camera. You can have it. I said, what's in the other box? I said, that's the cartridge for the Super 8 camera. I said, you don't want it? No, I don't need it. Just take it. My father gave it to me. I don't know why. I'm not going to be a filmmaker. Just take it. But I had something to do. So I spent the whole summer filming. 1977 was the summer of the blackout. When the Baweek was. My sisters and brothers were looting. I was filming everything. We were driving motherfucking Cadillacs out the showroom. It was bananas. Yeah. I made the film about it later. Summer of Sam.
Summer of Sam.
Also, it was the first summer of disco. 77. So every playground, DJs hook up their turntables and speakers to street lights. So I had this footage. When I came back to Atlanta, I declared a major. Mass communication major. It was not at Morehouse, it was at Clark College across the street. So mass communication was film, TV, radio, and print journalism. And now my teacher, great man, Dr. Herb Eichelberger, the film teacher, he says, I told him I had all this footage. He said, you should make a documentary out of it. I spent the whole semester making this documentary called Last Hustle in Brooklyn, because Hustle was at the dance at the time. Yeah. And Dr. Herb Eichelberg, he took an interest in me. So even when there were days where we didn't have class, he would come in and open up the film lab so I could edit. So second semester, I showed the film, the class liked it. I said, bet. But hook or crook, I'm going to be a filmmaker. That's the story. But it was just one day. And Melo, I think about what happens if I didn't go see her that day.
What happened if you didn't ask the question of what is that? Because most people...
What happens if father didn't give her? Right. We keep going. I know we ain't got that long.
most like you was a young man, you was a kid. And most kids would not ask questions like that. Right? So they, you won't ask that. What is that right there? You know what I mean? Because you would be shy or you would be...
I've never said this publicly, but I liked her too. But
see what I'm saying? That's why you asked.
I liked her too.
That's why you asked. What's up with that camera right there?
God don't make no mistakes, man.
She was
you in front of there for
she was way above me,
yes,
man.
Put you right in front of
God knew you was going to react to that.
Sent you right over to the towers.
It was killing me because the character in School Days was me. Half pint.
Yeah.
I like trying to spell women. God damn. D-Y-U-M.
I love spelling.
and in School Days, my character.
Friend zone moment, man.
Melo, you're gonna die laughing. You're gonna die laughing. So move the mic. And then my character I played Half Pint, who's pledging Gamma Phi Gamma. And John Carl, you know what I'm gonna say? John Carlos was here, was Big Brother Mighty. He said, Half Pint, you ain't seen no pop. And he wasn't lying. Hey, Ronald in Morehouse, man. I looked like I was 12 years old. I think I was Melo. I think I was 12 years old.
My son was dry.
That's a be a moment for the
No pause.
Spike was dry on campus, man. Come on, man.
Oh,
he played it.
True story.
Your boy made up for it.
Fucking Spike, man. Spike made all his movies on personal experiences.
And that's why he's the great filmmaker he is, man. Spike. Guys, this is my
Big
favorite.
Brother Almighty. Jean Esposito.
Shout out John Carlos, man. Legend.
That's why you the
Shout out
greatest,
Esposito.
man. That's why you the greatest, man.
Ooh, Spike, you really are the greatest. And I've been...
That's the first. You got 2 firsts. That's the first one that said on camera.
No pause.
I don't want to see that on loop either.
You know that's loopy,
You know that's going to be a clip.
That's loopy,
You
baby.
know that's going to be a clip, bro. Matter of fact, they already put the timestamps on it.
That shit is already cut from
That's
production.
going out today. Oh, man. Spike, before...
Can I drink some water?
Please, yo. You're going to need some water for this next segment. This is America's #1 segment, and boy, do we got some clips for you, Spike. We love to wrap this episode with a round of America's #1 segment, Fuck With It or Fuck Out of Here. This is where we react to trending topics in the world of sports, pop culture, and whatnot, and we decide if we're fucking with it or we getting it the fuck out of here. Spike, are you ready?
Born ready.
You already know. Melo, let's get it, man. The Pistons have restricted out-of-state ticket sales for their home playoff game ahead of their matchup with the New York Knicks starting in Game 3 and Game 4. Potential ticket buyers must present a credit card with a mail-in address located in Michigan or in certain parts of Ohio, Indiana, or Ontario, Canada, according to Ticketmaster. We know Knicks fans travel. We see what they did in Philly. We see what they did last year, so it makes sense why they would have to take these measures. So, fellas, Spike, I know you're going to find your way out there in Detroit anyway. Melo,
Me and Allie B.
you got
I'm right there. I'm right there with Allie P.
We got to play, man. Come on, we got to play. Show up, man.
All right.
Rolling with us, baby.
I'm with you. We in Detroit, baby.
All right, Spike, Melo, fuck with it or fuck out of here. Gatekeeping opposing fans during the playoffs.
Fuck out of here.
Yo, I can change a little bit. Can I change a little bit?
No, please.
Get the fuck out of here.
Oh, man. GTFOH, man. GTFOH.
Well, you got to announce it. You got to spread out. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
We're coming strong.
Hey,
I love Detroit too.
If we did that,
Motown.
if we did that in New York, you would like that? If the Knicks say we only sell the tickets in New
You
York,
don't need to. You don't need to.
Celtics fans. There's some Celtics fans, you know.
Yeah.
At the
No. I heard all Celtics fans the other day.
Facts. I don't
You
like
what?
that.
What'd you say?
Knicks, Celtics at the Garden last week, all Celtics fans.
They was
It
in
was
that
all
deep.
Celtics fans.
It sounded like it.
Towards the end of the game, you know
Toward
what I
the end
mean?
of
Yeah, it was.
That's
They
what-
travel
they
well.
quieted to the end. That's
They
how
travel
Boston
well. Warriors fans travel well.
So are you? I
Lakers
fuck with
fans.
It. Keep them niggas out. Keep them out of here. All y'all want to come in, Spike Lee's and shit. Nah, y'all gotta stay in New York. We gonna cater to our fan base first. Like I ain't mad at that part of it.
If I own a
But
franchise,
It didn't work in Philly.
We
though.
grandfathered
It
in.
didn't
Y'all-
work in Philly.
Yo, Detroit,
It did.
y'all
It
owe
did.
me, man. Y'all owe me some seats, man. You know what I'm saying? You owe me a suite or something out there. I'll take that. You know what I mean?
no, there's a different alternate universe, a timeline out there where you spend 12 years as the Detroit Piston.
You
So
know
they
what
gotta
I mean?
let you in there somehow.
I'm
Right?
still connected to y'all, man.
It's your fault, Darko. It shouldn't have happened.
They need us in there, though. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like they need
Knicks
us in
fans
there.
bring the energy wherever they go. So even I hate to admit this, but probably the best part if you're an opposing fan of
Is
the
having
Knicks
Knicks fans.
is going back and forth with them in the crowd.
you
when
know
they
you
lose.
gonna get a debate.
Of course.
you know you gonna get an argument. You know you gonna get something out of that.
Loud.
But the worst though, me and Al Palagonia, Game 6, Indiana.
Indy, yeah.
I'm blamed. Every time I see John Stark, I give him a hug.
Yeah.
Because he didn't show up in Game 6, I would have had to move.
Mm-hmm.
After the game, that game, the next morning, I was on the cover of the New York Post, Daily News, Newsday. And I was being blamed for the loss.
You say you want Jack Nicklaus.
And you know what they know? People, and Reggie says, people ask Reggie, do you still hate Spike? People ask me, you still hate Reggie? But we're like, that shit happened like 20-some years ago.
Nah, I got caught in the crossfire of, I don't want to go left, but I got caught in the crossfire of Spike versus Indiana beef.
Really? How'd that happen?
When we played the Pacers in the playoffs.
Oh, that gave me a loss?
Spike. They had every sign you could imagine of Spike from the airport to the arena.
I don't want to bring up bad memories. Is this the Hibbert block game?
Just that series.
The whole series.
The whole series.
I've been trying to forget about that.
I'm sorry, I didn't want to bring it up.
He's the headline.
He said Indiana.
He's the headline. This New York Knicks versus Pacers and Spike Lee.
It was the redo. It was the part 2, man. I remember that.
They almost ran Spike ass out of there, man.
Why did we win that game?
We got tired.
Got tired?
We got tired as a team. We got tired. We was older. Guys was older. Guys were a little banged up.
I feel like that Celtics series was a little tough too.
Celtics series was tough. We got out of that.
Who we played before that?
Celtics.
That's how I broke up the big 3.
Yeah. So we was
KG.
going to Indy.
Why you bring back that block?
I'm sorry, man. I had to. You said Indiana. You
I
were
the guy's name.
Out of anybody, that fucking play right there is like. He do shit.
There's Roy Hibbert. Shout out Roy Hibbert, man. But no shout out to him. That was terrible.
Fuck.
Goddamn. I'm sorry. I hate to bring back old memories.
No, those are actually good memories, though. You know what I mean? Those was the good memories, though.
Yeah.
Those are good memories. What are the bad memories?
Those are the good memories. You know what I mean? We competed.
We competed, man.
We was older. We was 37 and up. 36. Our age was like. J. Kidd, Sheed, Kurt Thomas.
I mean, that was
probably
the best.
Prigioni was a 36-year-old. He was a 36-year-old rookie.
Yeah, that was a great team.
You know what he used to do? He used to when the opposing team was taking a free throw. He would always get in there and jump in the lane and get a rebound.
So we were older.
Go fuck out of here! I got it.
We were older. They was younger. They had a little bit more in certain positions. Yeah. On the court.
And they were a solid team, man. The Pacers were no walkovers.
They were good though. They were well coached.
Who was on that team?
That was Paul George,
Hibbert, Stevenson. I think I forgot who their point guard was, but he was solid too.
Jordan Hill.
Jordan Hill, man.
No, not George Hill. George Hill. Sorry.
Yeah. Like they had a good squad, man. But
somebody else was over there. Right? Who was the wing on that team? Danny Granger was with them, right?
I think it was like the latter years.
The latter,
yeah. They had a good squad, man. But no more Pacers talk.
Nah,
they had the big dude too. What's his name?
Detroit.
David
West.
David West. Yeah, it's good.
Ian Mahimi.
Yeah, big boys, man. But no more Pacers love on this podcast. 7 p.m. in Brooklyn. Damn it.
They talk.
But Detroit, like I fuck with it. I fuck with them keeping the tickets to themselves.
I gotta ask you before we move on to the next fuck out of here. You've gotten a bird's eye view of all the quote unquote Knicks villains. Is there a top 5 on your list on the people who've come into the Garden and made it their own? And
you got Reggie Miller.
Reggie's up there.
Mike's
in there.
You got Mike. He would heard it. That double nickel game. Goddamn.
Yeah.
Who else?
Is Trey in there? I don't know if Trey's in there.
Oh, yeah.
Trey's in there?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
All right. I give it to Trey.
He loves playing in the Garden.
For sure.
Bron?
I think you got to have like a playoff series.
Kobe?
Like, the playoffs really do it. Kobe for sure.
He didn't have a playoff series.
Even though he'd have a playoff.
So he'll
drop 50. Yeah, he broke.
I had to hold the fort down.
Needed that.
You know what I'm saying? I had to hold the fort down for we was losing out on some headlines, you know what I mean?
I did this documentary, Kobe doing work, so they didn't want to release it till he could do the commentary.
Yeah.
So we looked at the schedule. and we did a commentary at that game, and that's the game he scored 6 more points.
Yeah.
So I have the scorecard, and he signed it. He says, "Spike, this shit's all your fault." And then
Did you have a conversation with him before that Garden game that made him go, "I'm gonna go out and go crazy"?
That's why he chose it. I mean, he was on my ass from the Garden to where we had to go to a recording studio to do the whole commentary. It was fun.
Awesome. Rest in peace, Cole, man. You named 4. Give me a 5th one. Matter of fact, give me a new Knick villain. Who did you see this year?
Stamp it. You gonna stamp it right now.
Give me somebody that you saw this year. It's like, man, I hope we don't got to see that dude come into our place once again. There was a couple performances like that this year. I mean, Steph has a few. You know what
Trey
I mean?
is a new New York villain.
Trey is probably the new.
I mean, he's a villain.
Yeah,
New York fans.
He's a villain.
He's the villain, and he plays.
He
into
embraces
that.
it.
He plays into that.
See, but that's what makes it, because he plays it too. He embraces it. Not everybody embraces it.
What about the game?
Low-key Embiid.
The clock. Oh, what about the game? What we're trying to do with the mid-season shit?
The mid-season
tournament. Oh, when he rolled the dice on
He's
speaking to the mic, Spike. Speaking to the mic.
Couple. I'm animated.
He shook up on us, man.
It didn't roll, and nobody did nothing.
Yeah.
But what he had to crap out because threes crap out. You understand?
No.
Yo, he had to. He didn't even do the zero right.
You know what the Knicks said? They said we didn't see him do that.
Yeah.
I don't believe that.
Hey.
Shit, I'll tell you who's saying it. ESPN.
That's a fact.
That shit was headline for about 2 weeks after that. He rolled the dice.
No, that would not happen to some other Knicks teams.
Nah.
Right or right? What?
Nah, I'm with you when you're right.
To be
Come
fair,
on.
I'm with you when you're right.
To be fair, the
Xavier
Hawks.
McDaniel?
Yeah, nah, you ain't.
Oakley? Them guys are.
You're not doing that though.
To be fair though,
you're not rolling the dice on
the
this.
Hawks have not.
On the logo of Nick Court.
The Hawks have not won a game.
That's like T.O. going to the Star. Like,
I don't know what it was. Somebody got to bump him off that star.
Yeah, but that's what's supposed to happen.
Nobody did nothing.
That's my point. That's what's supposed to happen. You don't go. That's like the flag. That's our flag. So you stomping on our flag, you rolling on our flag. You don't come pounce on our flag
and make it work by saying your black ass ain't going to Vegas.
That's disrespect.
Damn.
You know, that's how I look at it. That's my flag right there. You stepping on my flag. You know what I mean? That's New York's flag.
To be fair,
that's the flag of New York.
To be fair, the Hawks haven't won a game in Atlanta since the dice roll.
It doesn't matter.
Don't matter.
It doesn't.
Every time Trey comes back to New York,
Spike is about moments. It's about moments. You know what I mean? He wrote. I fuck with him for doing that.
It was a national TV
courage.
game.
He had the courage to do that.
Yeah.
But nah, you can't stomp on my flag like that.
Shout out Trey though.
You can't bang on my flag like that. Nah.
that should not be forgotten.
Though. Yeah, no, you can't.
I gotta be honest though. As a fan, this may not be as popular as I thought, but like, I kind of appreciate Trae Young as a villain. Like,
me too.
I love the energy.
Doing that.
Me too.
He lives coming to guard and kill us.
He's the villain I love to like. He's like the Joker.
People love
Batman.
to kill the Knicks though. Like, they love to kill the Knicks,
and we love to kill him. Like,
I'm just saying in general, like people come here to kill the Knicks and to show they family, and this is the one. Probably national TV game that the world is watching for them.
Like, the Hawks could be 12-70 if they come in and one of those 12 against the Knicks.
Nah,
that's not a good night.
They let Trae bang on the flag, man. I ain't starting shit, but they let Trae bang on the flag. That's crazy.
I'm saying that's what they say about this Knicks team, man. They got to
see
a little bit of that.
In Sacramento, DeMar ain't having that when they trying to score after the bucket, and you know what I mean? Like, nah.
See what they did with Kyrie when he stopped
let the clock run.
Kyrie stopped on Lucky.
No,
and they was like, that's not happening, bro.
You can't stomp on our flag. That's our flag. That's the message that should have been to the locker room. Yo, we let the niggas stomp on our flag, like. Rolling dice on the flag is crazy.
Never again. Never again, Knicks.
That's crazy.
Never again. Guys.
That's a flagrant foul.
That's a flagrant. And he had the green bodega dice. The see-through clear joints. he rolled on us with those. Crazy.
He told the ball boy to go and get it before the game.
You know what
man. That's what you signed PJ Tucker for, though. That's what you signed. Next time we try that shit.
Man, P ain't gonna see the court, man.
I mean, but that's what that's what you signed him for, though.
Yeah, man, that's false hope, man.
Go eat that flagrant foul real quick.
But he's in a good position, good locker room guy, good teammate.
Good voice in the room.
Good voice. Great voice. Great role model over there as far as the physical part of the game.
Absolutely.
He's big. He's big for Mitchell Robinson and Cat. Yeah, he's big for Mitchell Robinson and Cat.
I'll say this. If he's playing big games in the Detroit series, it's a bad sign.
He threw Taj Gibson out there.
Okay. It's a bad sign if Taj Gibson is out.
I love Taj Gibson for my point. What I'm saying is he
Fort Green.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, I love Taj. I love PJ Tucker, but if the Knicks, if those guys are lying at heavy minutes against these Pistons, something's going on. Something's going on.
Don't need him heavy minutes.
It takes 1 minute to do what he had to do.
He's smart. He know how to play.
Definitely.
Play that man, Ted.
Come on, PJ. Need that toughness in Detroit. Guys, the University of Colorado announced they are retiring Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter's jerseys this spring.
With it.
The social media reaction has been very mixed because Shedeur did only play 2 seasons with Colorado and a 13-12 record, 0 bowl game victories. Shedeur, Coach Prime, and Travis Hunter did turn around a 1-11 team. They are probably going to be 2 first-round picks in this year's NFL draft. And man, Travis Hunter won the Heisman. Why wouldn't you retire his jersey? Fuck with it or fuck out of here. Colorado retiring Travis Hunter and Shedeur Sanders jersey before they even take an NFL snap.
I'll fuck with it. Cultural shifters.
Yes.
That's what we talking about. Yes. Them young boys is cultural shifters, man. They changed the game.
From daddy. One daddy.
You know what I mean? That's Pops' prime. Like, they know how to perform. You get what I'm saying? They know how to put on and put a show on. Like, they learned it from the best. I fuck with it. They should be up there. They changed that whole culture out there. Like,
of course.
And what am I talking about? Colorado
older
football.
Colorado games was,
and I played it. I knew what it was because I was there, but nobody was. Prime turned that shit around, and he put his son at the helm of that to be the face of whatever happens. Like, this is on. You gonna be looked at.
Man, they had Boulder, Colorado looking like the All-Star game.
They still do. Though. They still do.
Deion still brings them out.
Who else you gonna retire from Colorado? Like, you know what I mean? Why wait?
Listen, what Travis, even more so than the jersey retirement, what Travis and Shedeur did for that program, all of the great recruits they get from here on out is because of those 2 guys in Prime. Like, I watched those dudes do it here. I want to go here and play. I want to wear a black and gold jersey.
He used his own to show you how to do it.
Yep.
Right? Yep. He used his own kid, and Travis is like his step. You know, his guy. That's his other son.
Yeah.
But like, he used that to show the world this is how you do it. I'm not running from. I'm not hiding from it. I'm gonna show you all the good shit and the bad shit. Right? So I think a lot of times we wait too long to give people flowers. It's like, it's college. If they have that impact, then shit, put their shit up there.
Yeah, man. And
they ain't coming. They not gonna play here again.
Nah, and you got to remember, like, they came at a pivotal time in not just Colorado football, but college football. Like, the whole era of, I feel like in like 10, 15, 20 years, we're gonna look at. There's going to be 2 eras. It's NCAA pre-NIL, NCAA post-NIL. And being that first 2 through the door to do what they did and turn Colorado into a destination.
And doing it their way.
And doing it their way and doing it with style.
Yeah.
Like their daddy.
Hey.
One day.
Any more thoughts on Coach Prime and
Shedeur? We fuck with it.
We fuck with it. I was waiting for somebody to say, I fuck with it.
Hey, it's my first time on the show.
Hey, come on, man. 30 to assist. 30 assists. I got you. One last one. Stephen A. Smith, our good friend over here, has announced he has, quote, no choice. Wow. But to consider running for president. Stephen A. proclaims he is not a politician, but government officials, billionaires, and even his own pastor have approached him regarding his potential candidacy. We're living in a world where non-politicians have not only ran, but have been elected president 2 times. With that being said, television personality Stephen A. Smith, as the president of the United States, fuck with it or fuck out of here. Spike, the floor is yours.
Go first.
Spike said, fuck out of here. That is crazy.
Can I say, nah.
No,
that's
say
crazy.
Whatever you want,
Nah. Come on now.
Come on,
This serious shit we're dealing with. Come on now.
Yeah. This is
lives are at stake. Can't. It's not a joke.
It's not.
He was dead serious.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he was dead ass.
I think there was a time earlier this year where he completely dismissed it, but I think there've been like some polls that have come out, and he got like
polls.
Polls. Some polls have come out.
ESPN polls, man.
And outside of like AOC and like Bernie Sanders, he got some
Broski, let me tell you something, man.
Support from these polls.
Hold up a minute.
That's not a game that he want to play in. Like, I commend him though for even thinking that, for reaching for that goal. That's a high goal. But nah, you ain't. That's not a lane that you want to play in. You have to be ready for that lane.
I hate to play devil's advocate, but we played the same game with Trump. When Trump first started doing it, people was thinking,
it's a big difference.
He's just promoting his reality show.
It's a different.
There you go.
It ain't going to be too many more loud mouth. This is how they thinking. There ain't going to be too many more loud mouth niggas out there. Like, I'm just,
That's
you know
a
what I mean?
fact.
Like, this is how they think.
Yeah.
Nah, we ain't, not that, no.
Nah, son.
Nah. We already gave y'all one. Like, we gave y'all one. Like
2 terms.
We gave y'all 2 terms.
Yeah.
So we didn't give y'all one. We earned that, but like, we gave y'all 8.
No disrespect to Stephen A, but like I always
This ain't
felt,
about Stephen A. This is
Yeah,
deeper.
that's what I'm saying.
We gave y'all 8.
no disrespect to him, but it's like I always had in the back of my head after Obama, like the next black president, if there ever is another one, is gonna have to be so sparklingly perfect.
You got to be homegrown.
That thinking that like the next
You know what
black
that mean?
president,
You got to be homegrown.
Yeah.
The next black president.
What does that mean?
Homegrown.
continental United States, like
figure it out.
They're not rolling those dice with like, oh, is he from Hawaii?
If you're gonna be a
Like,
black man in that seat, you got to be a homegrown black man to be in that seat. You got to be.
You got to come through the system.
You got to be walked through the system.
We can't pluck you through from first take.
What's your governor's name of Maryland? West?
He's the next president. Westmore.
Yeah.
Remember I said that.
Am I right or wrong?
I don't tag along with politicians.
But
with that being said, Westmore should be the next president of the United States.
The governor of Maryland.
The governor of Maryland. He should be the next president.
Good brother.
Good brother. Intelligent, smart, military background. Understands people, understand business.
Not LeBron.
I know I'm trying to pitch niggas and shit. I'm just saying that's my man. So I got if I got one in my back pocket, Steve, I'm gonna rock with you, Stephen A. Just because you gonna still have to I gotta learn you too. I gotta understand what
I respect the game he's playing though.
Me too.
I respect the game
Get your name out there on a different level outside of sports.
Exactly.
You feel me?
I
get the games. I respect that.
Right.
But we talking about brothers who can actually really do it. Westmore is one of those guys who can do it.
And Stephen A's experience is LeBron and Kobe debates.
Go be one of them. Go run some shit in New York. Or if you want to start, go be an assemblyman or go be something local.
I was at that game, that Laker game with Stephen A. and LeBron.
With LeBron pressed Stephen A.
I felt bad. I felt that was sad. Have two brothers like. That was like, come on now.
Sad moment for us.
I think it was.
Overall, yeah.
And it didn't stop. I thought it was going to end, but it kept going.
No. Shit can't stop today.
Nah.
Shit don't stop today. You got to stand on it on both sides. Like I think
stand on business.
Stand on business today. Everybody.
I just heard that phrase recently.
Stand on business.
By the way, Spike got a whole book of wild verbiage in there. He got a coffee table book of sayings, Spike-isms and shit. You know what I mean? Spike. And also, before we wrap up, man, Spike is he's like one of the only non-athletes who got his own signature sneaker.
Yes, sir. Shout out to the Spizikes for sure.
You know what I mean? Spike made that shit. Spike made the Spizike.
Spike in many ways is like the first.
He's our culture.
Influencer. Really.
Let's give him that. We'll give you the flower, Spike, before we let you out of here.
Thank you.
You are the cultural guy. You are the cultural person who we look to culturally to tell us what to do at one point in time in the hood. As being African American, growing up in those environments,
Fort Greene, Brooklyn,
you gave us hope. You gave us visual hope. We got a chance to see it. You expose a lot of shit in a lot of different industries, from He Got Game to Sum Up Sam to I could go on School Days. You ain't getting no boom.
I knew that was gonna come back around.
I just want to say that we give you the we appreciate you, Spike. You know what I mean? From a Brooklyn night to a Brooklyn night. We appreciate you blessing the set.
Love.
And it's always love, man. And good luck with your movie.
It's an honor and a pleasure, Spike.
Yeah. Good luck being back in with Denzel, man. I'm you know, that run.
You coming to Detroit?
I'll be in Detroit.
Call Al, man.
P, we need the plane. Come on, Al. I'm on there.
Al Palagonia, let's go.
We need the plane, P.
We got to run the plane, right?
I appreciate you though, Spike.
Nah, it's mutual. It's mutual.
Absolutely, man. Thank you so much.
You do a great thing here, man. Just real talk. Chop it up. People need that.
Respect.
It's an honor and pleasure to sit between two legends and hear y'all talk shop, man. But thank you. As always, this is 7 p.m. in Brooklyn, a Wave original by FanDuel. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube and podcast channels. If you love the show, if you want to keep supporting it, if you want us to stay on the top of them charts, like, subscribe, comment, rate, review. All that stuff helps us out. For Carmelo Anthony, the Hall of Famer, for the legendary Spike Lee, my name is Kazim FWIorFOH. We catch y'all next time in The Hook. Peace out, people.
Peace.
Peace.